Welcome to this tutorial. We're creating a fancy heart in Illustrator. This is an example of what your project will look like when you're finished. Let's go to Classroom and get started. This is a video you're going to follow along with that I'm creating right now. This is all, guys, template you're going to start with. Click on this. Google Classroom cannot open an Illustrator file, so open a new window. Then it's going to give you the options to download the file. Click on download. Then you have this button down here in Chrome. Click on that button. It's going to open up your version of Illustrator. Maximize that. Hit Control-0 to zoom all. These are guidelines that are really going to help you to line everything up correctly. You have these things selected. Click View. These three things need to be selected. You have Smart Guides checked, Snap to Point, and your guidelines need to be locked. All three things need to be checked. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with, this is one thing I forgot to mention. Then the layers, this is a personal preference, but I recommend you doing this. So click on panel options, and I want you to, right now it's a large preview. It's going to get hard to see. You're going to have to scroll a lot, so I'm going to choose medium right here. And click OK. It's going to be, you can still see the preview, but it's going to show you medium. So click on Layers Line Segment tool and grab the Arc tool. Now go from the center here where it says intersection. Hold the Shift key down. Now all three things need to be lined up. Your cursor, the guideline, and the arc that you're creating. Now go from that anchor point you just created. You hit the F key down to flip that arc. Then go to the intersection. Go from the end there. Hit the F key to flip around. Go to that intersection. Now click the selection tool, direct selection tool here. Click on that anchor point. Grab this handlebar. Move it up. You're creating basically this kind of curve and a point to this heart shape. Click on the selection tool. These are all three things separate, but we're going to join them together. Select everything there like that. Right click and you want to say join. Now there's no reason to draw the opposite side, so we're going to reflect that. Choose the reflection tool, hold down the Alt key, and tell the computer where to reflect from. You want to have the vertical selection and a preview so you can actually know where it's going to go, and choose copy. Okay. Now choose the selection tool again, select everything, and you're going to join that together. Say join. Now it's all one heart. It's not a bunch of little segments, it's all one shape. Now what you're going to do is you're going to bump up the stroke width to 10. That needs to come to a point right there, and this should be squared off right here. Deselect that. Now we're actually going to create the target shape inside the heart. Let's go back here. We're actually going to have these settings. Choose the fill, and it needs to be set to a CMYK red. Yeah, right there. And now you're going to grab the Polar Grid tool. Now you're going to hold down the Alt key to draw from the center here. And you have these settings. 522 for the width, 522 for the height. Number of concentric dividers is 6. Number of concentric radial dividers is 0. And these two things need to be checked. These are both at 0. Choose OK. Gives you this target shape here. What you're going to do is you're going to choose Edit, Cut. It's basically just going to go away. Then you're going to select the heart that we just drew. Now you're going to draw from the inside. Then you're going to choose Edit and Paste. So it's pasting that object back into the center. Okay. Now deselect everything. Now you're going to draw normal again. Okay. Now we are going to create the arrow on this fancy heart. Okay. So click back on Line Segment tool. Oh, we need to do one more thing. The target shape is not centered. So we're going to click on this and just move it up. You can see our smart guides making sure we know. Set the intersection. Okay, so it's centered there. So now we're actually going to go with the Line Segment tool. So go from the center here, start drawing out a line, hold that Shift key down to create a perfect line. There you go, you finished. Now the stroke, we want to set the, click on the word stroke, set the cap to a rounded cap, okay? Now we need to create, go from this anchor point, we need to create kind of like this kind of curved line. It's not, doesn't have to be any kind of angle, but just create a kind of curved line, angle line. Go from that anchor point, and you're going to create a horizontal line. And then again from this anchor point, I'm sorry, we'll do one more thing. Instead of trying to create a line to match this one exactly, let's just copy it. So select this line, choose Alt key, and this is really important. All three of these, like you need to see all these green lines. So you need to have those two. Okay? Then you have those two, and you're actually going to just draw a little window, select those two things. You're not going to be able to see any of these things, these little next steps, but you need to make sure all things are done. Choose Edit, Copy, and then Edit, Paste in front. You can't see anything, but it's changed. Then you're going to choose Identify. Then choose Object and Blend. Blend options needs to be specified steps as 2 and align to page. So it's OK. Object again is blend, and then you want to make that. It's dividing your little feather into 3 sections. Okay. So deselect that. Choose a layer options. Now see, if these are big, it would be really hard to see. But you're going to open up drawing. Now you just blended these where it says blend. So this, you click on that to select it. Then move it down right there. Now you're going to select that right here. Hold the shift key down and select these 3 here. It has those 3 objects that you're selecting. Now you're going to right click and you're going to join those. It actually squares it off. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're actually going to go back, and that needs to be filled in with a solid white color. And what you're going to do then is come back to Layers panel again, and you're going to have this path and goes down to the bottom below. So the blend goes up to the top again. Okay. Then you're going to highlight those right here. Then you're going to actually choose a reflect tool, hold the Alt key down, and you want to reflect it from this anchor point here. You want to choose a horizontal reflection and choose copy. Okay. This path right here, you want this path to be on top. So, okay. Then you are going to actually select everything from here, window everything. It has all those selected. You can see there it's selecting everything. So you're going to right click and then say group. Okay. So you're going to name this group as a heart. Okay, and you're going to name this group as, double click, and you name it as arrow. Okay, that's going to help us organize everything together. Then you're going to rotate the arrow. We're going to click on Rotate tool. Tell the computer where to rotate from, this center point here. Now, you can actually scroll the mouse and actually choose this, whatever angle you want to. Okay, I like 31. So you choose OK. You don't want to choose copy. You just want to choose OK. So now we have the arrow copy. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we want to go back to Classroom. I'm going to close this tab. Click back. Now I want to click on the heart here. Now I want to do the same thing. Open a new window. And it gives you the options to download that again. So I'm going to download that. It's going to basically just put it into my downloads folder. So now we can go back to Illustrator. We don't have to open that up or anything. But now we need to go back to File and Place. You're going to click on Desktop. Libraries here. Then we are going to go to Oh, I go to recent places. Sorry, recent places. And you should scroll down a little bit, and it should say downloads right here. Okay, click on downloads. I guess you have to double click that. Yeah, there you go. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is heart should be at the very top of the list. So click heart. This is heart PDF. This is what it looks like. Click place. This is yes, this is exactly what you want. Click OK. And it's going to place it on there. But now you need to have these things selected. Align to artboard. You need to horizontally align it and vertically. It actually is already. So then you're going to hit the down arrow and you're going to make it line up with your heart. I guess the easiest way for me is actually just lining up the points at the very bottom here where my cursor is. Yeah, that's good. The last step, you need to actually bring the opacity down to 50%, and where it says link, that's where you just placed it in. So you're going to lock that because you don't want to actually select that. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create these spirals that are on the bottom here. Okay. So we're going to actually choose the spiral tool. Okay. You want to just click in the open area somewhere, it doesn't matter. So you need to have these settings, 80 for the radius, decay is 80, and the segments are 10. And then the right style is selected, the one on the right. Click OK. Again, this is 10 to start with, that's this bottom one here. So click on the selection tool. You're just going to move it to somewhere in the center here. It doesn't have to line up perfectly. Scrolling down. So you're basically just going to make this match up. So your line needs to be fit in the middle of this gray line for our template. So you're going to do that there. There, it doesn't line up just yet, but you need to get this last. And it lines up there. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to select that again. Now you're going to hold the shift key down and you're going to select this part of the heart. Right there. Okay. So you see that they should overlap a little bit. You see these blue lines overlap. So you're going to click the scissor tool. It's right underneath the eraser tool. Grab the scissor tool. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see this a little better. And click, and that should say intersection right there. Click on the intersection. Then click on the selection tool. Zoom out. Now I want to click on this selection. I've just cut this off. Basically, I've used the scissor tool to cut that line in half. Hit the backspace key to delete that. Okay. Now I'll zoom out again. Do that one more time. But this time, I mean, it's the same settings. This time I want the stroke width at 4. Okay. And do that same thing again. Move it on here. I'll zoom in a little bit and match that with our template we created. There we go. Okay, and those should overlap. And then I'm just gonna, I already have it selected, so hit the shift key and then select this part of the heart here. Those should overlap. I'm gonna zoom into this. Sorry. Zoom into this and then select the scissor tool. Select the intersection. I'm going to zoom out, hit the selection tool, and now I can actually select this part that I just cut off. Backspace. Now you do it one more time. Okay, same settings. Now this time the stroke width is 2. It's a little bit thinner. Now just move it on here. It's a little bigger. That's fine. Now just move it there. There's a lot going on right now, but make sure that's lined up. This one a little bit down here. Looks good there. And this one. Basically, you just make that line up with a gray line. Okay. Now hit the shift key. Select this line for the heart outline. Now check with the scissor tool. Click on this intersection. Selection tool again. Click on this line. Delete it. Now I'll zoom out again. Now this length, I need to unlock that Now select it right here. Now I just hit the backspace key because that's all I need. Because I just need that to kind of like give me an outline there. So now these three things, I don't want to actually redo that again. So I'm actually going to do the same thing with that I did with that heart. It's just reflect. So I need to select all three of these things. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right click and join. Right click and group. I want to group them together. Then I'm going to reflect. Choose the reflect tool. Hold the Alt key down and reflect it from the center line there. I want to choose a vertical reflection, and I want to have preview selected and choose copy. So now it just copies that. Okay. So now I'm actually going to choose a shift key and then grab this group that I created there. So I have both groups selected. Now hit the right key and group those again. So now it just has one group, an arrow, and a heart. And I'm going to double click there and title this as spirals. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So now you have these three things selected. And that finishes the tutorial. Then you can actually save this Illustrator file and turn it into Google Classroom. Thanks for watching.